Alright class, we were talking about the topic vectors. In last class we had discussed about the addition of vectors by head to tail rule, that is triangular law, and we had discussed about the vector law of vector addition, parallelogram. Now in today's class we are going to start with question number 6. Question says, simplify the following, and the first part is AB plus BA. We had discussed in detail about how we add the vectors. We know that when these two letters are same, then the resultant will be the first and the last. So what is actually happening in the question? The vectors AB and the vectors BA are negative vectors. Therefore, its resultant is 0. Right? AB and BA are resultant negative vectors. Therefore, its resultant is 0. And if you can find it with the help of vector diagram, it's AB and now it's BA. So they are negative vectors. Right? The next part, it says PQ plus QR plus RP. Now first thing you need to add PQ plus QR, and I will give you approximately 10 seconds to find PQ plus QR. Your time starts now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. So PQ plus QR, it will be PR plus RP. Again, they are negative vectors, resultant is 0. Right? For part C, it's MN plus LM plus NL. Now for this question, I will give you the time of approximately 30 seconds and your time starts now. Alright, so first thing we need to arrange it a little bit. I will write MN and after that I will write this one, it's NL, and then it will be LM. It won't make a difference if you have 2 plus 3 plus 5, or you can write that 2 plus 5 plus 3, answer remains same. So MN plus NL, it will be ML plus ln, again negative vector, resultant is 0. Right? So I hope that all of you are clear in question number 6. Moving on to the next question, question number 7. Now you can see diagram of 8 parts on your screen. Right? It says find the vector marked in each is marked with the double arrows in each of the following. So in the first part we need to find out this unknown vector, right? So I will start with the first part and you will do the rest. So let's suppose I will mark this vector A. With the method of head to tail rule, we are talking about part A. I'll say that Q plus A is equals to P, right? It makes sense. First we move from this point to this point, and then from this point to this point. Ultimately we covered a distance from this point to this point. So Q plus A is equals to P. We need to find the value of A. So A is equals to P minus Q. That is the answer of A. If this method is clear to you, very nice. If it is not, then we have one more method for this question. If you observe in your figure, what is actually this arrow is defining. Let's suppose I make the arrow separately, right? If I complete the triangle, it will be, that is the complete of the triangle in with respect of these arrows, right? They are moving upwards but in the negative x-axis. That means P is moving upwards, they both are moving upwards, so it will be positive P. If you see Q, we have a Q in a positive direction this side, but for this arrow x should be negative, so it will be minus Q. So for both the methods you are getting the same answer, and I know many of you are confused with the logic, so I will explain part B with this one. Now, if you see P, it's moving upwards, but the resultant is moving downwards. First, we will observe the direction of the resultant. Resultant direction is this one, as shown on this figure. If I complete the triangle, so it's moving in the negative y and in the positive x, right? Means that we will have the Q, because Q is positive, but P will be negative because it is heading in the negative y. So the answer is Q minus P. And if you want to solve it with the equation method, you can do that. Let's suppose I represent this unknown with A. So starting from this point, at first I cover the distance of P, vector of P. So first I covered this vector, then I covered this vector P plus A, and the resultant is Q. So A is Q minus P, right? So it's up to you which method you are comfortable with. You can opt any method. So now you need to start with part C, and for C you have 30 seconds to start. If you still confused, no need to worry about, just give it a try and then I will explain. Okay, I hope that all of you have done it. Now first thing, if I ask you, let's suppose I draw this double arrow figure only, double arrow, and I ask you to complete the triangle. So I hope that mostly of you understand that it is moving in the positive x and in the positive y, right? I hope that mostly of you can understand that it is moving in the positive x and positive y. Now, what you have here, it's A and B. We need to move in the positive x, but the given vector A is in the negative direction A, right? That means if this vector is A, this one will be minus A, the concept of negative vectors. B is moving upwards and we need a B in the upward direction as well. So my answer will be B minus A. If you get it, it's very good. If you did not get it and you are opting the equation method, so I will say that this double arrow is P, right? So what I will do, I will say that first I move starting from this point. First I move in this direction, that is A. After this point I move in this direction, that is P. And ultimately I reach from this point to this point, that is B. Need to find out the value of P. So P is equals to B minus A. Both answers are same, it's up to you. which method you need to opt. I know that some of you might still confused, but it's completely fine. You need to start with the part D, and the most important thing that you need to do, you need to attempt it. It does not matter if your answer is right or wrong. Resultant is in this direction, right? That means negative x, right? Now, let's suppose that Mr. A is starting at this point and he wants to reach at B. The problem is he can only move in the A direction or B direction, right? He cannot go directly from A to point B. Either he can move in the A direction or the B direction, right? So he starts his journey from point A. At first he travels this direction, that is B. Then he needs to move towards A. Ultimately he reaches from A to B, and that is the resultant answer, B plus A. Right, now I hope that a bit of your concept is clear now. Moving on to part I, you know that you have 30 seconds for part I and your time starts now. Now, I will try to explain it with more easy example. Now let's suppose Mr. A wants to start his journey at this point and he wants to move at point P. He can go directly with this direction, but due to heavy rainfalls, he cannot move from A to B. There is a water on this street, right? So what he will do now? First, he will move from A to this point. We say that R, and then he moved from this point to this point, and we say that the resultant is P. So ultimately he moved from A to B and the vector is S. We need to find out the value of P. So P is S minus R. Now I think that now you are clear with the concept, right? Starting for part F, 30 seconds, start. Oops. Done. You have 5 seconds, 3, 2, and 1. Alright. Now the same strategy we are going to opt. Mr. A wants to travel from A to the point B, but due to the construction work, he cannot move directly from A to B. So what he will do? He will first move in the direction R, then he will move in the direction S. Ultimately, he moved from A to B, and that is the answer of part F. Alright class, now you need to attempt part G and H. You have 1 minute for both of them, G and H. I hope that you have done the both parts. Now we will check the answers. Now the first answer, it will be minus n and minus n, right? Because you need to start your journey from this point to this point, right? first you need to move in this direction, that will be minus n because the direction is opposite. Then you need to move in this direction, that will be minus n. So the part G answer is minus n for part H. At first you need to move from this to this, that is n. After that, this point, let's say it's P is equals to n. So P is equals to n minus n. Right? I hope the concept of that you can't move on the specific road may be clear, the concept of the vectors. Moving on to the next question, that is question number 8. The question says simplify the following. Now in first part it says 5, 4, minus 3, 2. You have 30 seconds to do that. Start. I think 30 seconds are too much. What about 20 seconds max? Alright, so it will be 5 minus 3, it's 2, and 4 minus 2, it's 2. That is the answer. Right? So moving on to the next part. B. Minus 1, 3, minus 3, minus 4. Start. After B, start part C. And then start part D. Alright, I will start with the part B. So minus 1 plus 3, it's 2, and 3 plus 4, it's 7. For part C, first I will solve these two. 2 plus 5, it's 7. 3 minus 2, it's 1, minus 7, and minus 3. 7 minus 7, it's 0. 1 plus 3, it's 4. Last question. 4 plus 2, 6. 7 minus 5, 2. 6 minus 3, 3, and 2 plus 6, 8. I hope that all of you are getting the same answers. Very simple questions. Only you need to add the corresponding row. After that, question number 9. Now question number 9 is very important for the concept of addition of vectors on your grid. You can see question number 9 on your screen. The diagram shows 3 vectors A, B, and C. Now if you talk about C and I say that what is the column vector of C? Can you tell me the column vector of C? Try it by yourself and then I will explain the column vector of C. You have 15 seconds. Alright, time up. Now the column vector of C, simply consider that from this point, the starting one, to this point, where and how much steps you are moving. So if I talk x-axis, so I am moving in one block towards the x-axis, and if I talk about the y-axis, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That means the column vector of C is on the x-axis. I move 1 step towards the left, minus 1, and 6 step towards negative y, so it's minus 6. It is not asked in the question. I am just checking your concept of the column vector. Now it says on a sheet of squared paper or graph paper, draw appropriate triangles to illustrate the following vector additions. Now for the first part, you need to find a plus b. How you will do that? The concept of addition, vector addition, right? Now you see that if you focus the vector b, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Four blocks in the diagonal direction. I will do the same. Where the point A is ending, I will start vector b from here. So it's 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I try to draw it a straight line, so it will be here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Same direction of vector b. That is my vector b, and the resultant will be from A to this line. That is your resultant vector A plus B. So you need to draw the triangles on your graph paper. If you draw it on the graph paper, it will be a more accurate answer. So first try it by yourself, and you have 1 minute for second part B plus A. Start. Done? Alright. I hope that all of you have done the second part. It says B plus A. First I will remove this. Now how you will find the vector B plus A? What I will do, I will start the vector B at the ending point of vector B. So A is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 units diagonally. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? I don't have the enough space, but I am telling the concept that vector is B plus A. Right? And this vector and the vector obtained in the first part, they both are equal because B plus A and A plus B are same. So that is the answer of your second part, B plus A, that is your vector A. Start the part C on your graph papers, and you have not 1 minute, you have 40 seconds to start. Alright, now it says A plus C. So at the end point of A, I will start making vector C. Now C is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 6 step down. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? That is my vector C, and the resultant, it will be this direction. That is A plus C. Right, so what we are doing, we are starting the second vector from the end point of the first vector and then apply the head to tail rule. This resultant is basically head to tail rule, which gives you the value of A plus C, and the last part, it's B plus C. So start. 40 seconds. B plus C. Done? Alright. So B plus C means that the point where the vector B is ending, you need to start vector C. It will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6. Now you need to maintain the direction should be same as given for the vector C. So this is your resultant of B plus C. Right? That's how you use the grid to find out the resultant vectors. If you want to note it down, you can. After that, question number 10. Now question number 10 is a bit interesting. PQRS is a quadrilateral. Simplify the following. Now first part says PT plus TR. Now if you apply the rule of simple vector addition, you see that the letter T is common, so the resultant will be PR, right? All of you can do it easily. But if you observe the figure, you are starting from the point P. First you travel from P to T, right? This one, P to T. And then you start your journey from T to R. So ultimately you have moved from P to R. So that's why it is your resultant, right? Alright. For part B, SQ plus QR. First observe from the figure. From S to Q and then Q to R, that means ultimately you have moved from S to R, and that is your resultant SR. Right? Very easy. Now why don't you guys start part C? You have 15 seconds for this part start. Done? No. Alright. When most students write this TR plus ST, now they are confused because these two alphabets are not same. And then they will say, Sir, ye to aapne padhaya hi nahi, right? Now what you need to do, you need to shuffle the question a little bit. At first if I write ST and then I will write TR, now all of you can add it, it will be SR. So use your common sense with the knowledge of mathematics, it will be very beneficial, right? So that is your third part, ST plus TR is equals to SR. After that, first try the question D, and it is very simple. SQ plus QT is equals to ST. Find the resultant of part E. You have 30 seconds, start. Then the question says SQ plus QR is equals to, sorry, not equals to, plus PS. Now at first when you observe the question, you say, sir, it is आसान है, because SQ plus QR, it will be SR plus PS. Now most of you stuck at this point, but the concept remains same. You need to shuffle it a bit. So if I write is that PS plus SR, it won't affect the question because 2 plus 3 and 3 plus 2 both gives the result of 5. But the good thing is now you can add the vector, so it will be PR. Right? Now to part F, you have 30 seconds. Done. So first thing it will be RQ plus QT plus TP plus PS. RQ plus QT, it will be RT plus TP plus PS. RT plus TP, RT plus PS, and that is equals to RS. This is your final answer, right? And I hope that most of you can do it easily. Keep in mind that orientation or the shuffling is very important while you are adding the vectors, because we know the value, we know the trick that the second alphabet of the first vector and the first letter of the second vector should be same. If they are same, that means now you can add the vectors. And in your paper you will see that most of the students can easily solve by shuffling, like we did here, right? It was TR plus ST. Always focus that its last alphabet and its first alphabet is same. You can shuffle it to find out the resultant vector. So I think that it is quite enough for today class. We have learned how to add the vectors, and we have learned how to draw the vectors on the grid if the certain vectors are given, and how to find the resultant, right? And in today's class we have learned that if a triangle is drawn, how we find the resultant vector. That was we had done in question number 4, I guess. This one, question number 7, right? So these are the very important topics of the vector. Inshallah, next class we are going to continue the same exercise but with more questions. In today's class we had covered question number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5 questions we had covered, and I hope that all of you have a clear idea how we attempt the question. So inshallah, next class we are going to continue with the vectors. Make sure that you are practicing the topic, because it's past paper, it's a bit tricky. So your basic concept must be clear before you are going to attempt the past papers. See you next class. Take care and Allah Hafiz.